John, you want to hit the record button? I'm sorry.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a week away, and gosh, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm just trying to get caught up and get back into the rhythm and the groove, and I'm close. By the end of this week, Wednesday, maybe hump day, I'll be back in full swing. So anyway, I'm hearing great reports in talking with some of you, and some leads not so good, some leads go nowhere, and then all of a sudden you got a good one. And so that's all about refining, and there's no way we're going to get them all good quality leads. A lot of tire kickers out there are curious people, but let's hear from Jeff to kick this thing off with some statistics and data and what's happening.
Well, good evening, everybody. Sorry I missed last week. I had some personal stuff come up that I had to take care of. Not quite a vacation, but I was out of town the whole time, so I'm a little jealous, John. Last week we brought in 1,300 leads.
Wow.
And so the volume is really turned up. We're really turning up the volume. The flow is coming, and this gives us a great big opportunity. Okay, so now we're able to refine down to even even more specific level. So now we're going to be able to start to refine down to not only the people that are interested, but the people that actually convert. And so what we do is we set up these things called conversion events, and we monitor those. And so we're exactly where we want it to be. Any lag that we had before, we have caught up. And we're really, really turning up the dial. The refining process is going strong every single day, and we're gonna continue to hone in on that person that converts. Okay, so the more and more of those that we get, the more and more we'll be able to tell all these different venues of advertising that we have. That's the type of person we're looking for. And so, we start with flow, and then we move to ideal flow. Okay, so the flow's there, and that's what we were all looking for, and now we're just going to start to get pickier and pickier and pickier and pickier, and that's what we want. And so that's exciting, you guys. I mean, like we had a long up ramp process here, but the flow is here, and it's trucking, and so we're cruising, and the traffic is just flowing right through the funnel. So it's exciting to see.
Fantastic. Any other numbers or updates or anything else, Jeff, that you want to share on your end?
No, that's basically it. That's basically it. From here on out, we're just going to continue to continue to turn up that dial to increase the flow even more. And to be honest with you, the sky is the limit. We haven't even touched the beginning of our audience yet. We're not even close to 1% yet. And so the sky is the limit on that. And then we're just going to refine them down to where we're getting a consistent flow of ideal people.
Yeah. And, so guys, I'm very encouraged. 1,300 leads last week. And, maybe out of those 1,300, let's say 300 of them were good leads. And of course, then if we could convert and end up with 30 of those people actually joining the business, I think that would be a pretty successful outreach and scenario. But if I'm hearing what Jeff is saying is as this is ramping and refining, getting that ideal audience, getting rid of the tire kickers and honing in on it, the numbers are only going to get bigger, and the percentages are going to get better. The leads are going to get better. And so our skills at converting those people are going to get better. We're going to figure out how to do this, right? So we're going to figure out how to talk to these people, and you and Rick can train them on that. I can't, but that's another big part of it, is us. And so, us figuring out exactly what to say and when to say it. Yeah. So I think to that end, that's number one. A lead is still only as good as the follow-up, as, following up promptly. I cannot stress enough how important it is to jump on these things ASAP. Within minutes is the best, right? Next best is within an hour or so. And once more than an hour, a few hours, or half a day goes by, I would say, the results are going to go down. And so I spent quite a bit of time, probably an hour or so on the phone with Rick today, and we were discussing this, and I put together out of that one email this document, and it's not ready to share with everybody because we're going to refine it. And in our discussion today, and Rick's going to go through some training, but we really believe that probably the easiest way for us to follow up, and that where people have the most confidence, is teaching that initial follow-up to be a text message, right? And we're going to come up with some nice scripts to help you with that initial text message that's going to, possibly lead to driving, lead to answering questions, using the app to then send the Valentis video, send the comp plan video, send the why get started video, texting to, and then if it's me, I'm just going to jump on the phone with them. Okay, but I think for a general rule for everyone else, I think we're gonna really focus down this path of teaching to do that initial response and follow up in the text. We're gonna come up with some scripts. We don't want this to look automated. It's not automated, but we don't want it to seem like it's an auto text response because then people don't pay as much attention. So we want it to be personal. Maybe you put their name in it, or but we're going to come up, we're going to refine this thing. I know Rick has done, we spent, like I said, an hour or so on the phone going through. He's got a whole PowerPoint we're going to talk about along some of these lines, and every time we do this, we're going to get better, stronger. We're going to get this thing refined. We're going to get it in paper. We're going to get a flow chart. We're going to get this to just improve success. But because I think the other thing about texting too is a lot of people that get on the phone and they just blow it because they're talking too much, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't have the personal strength, and they get a strong person on the phone that starts beating them up and they don't know what to do. Where in the text it gives you that level of thinking and formulating a good response and message. And then we lead them to, like I said, sending a message to the app, driving them to the Zoom, trying to drive them onto a 3-way phone call. And when your personal confidence and knowledge gets to where you want to talk to them on the phone, we can do that as well. So, Rick, why don't you go ahead, and I think you've got, I haven't seen it, but you got a new facelift to the funnel itself. And so I think you were maybe going to show us that, and then we'll go into some training, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, Chuck, did you have some things you wanted to share? I know Chuck had some stories and some testimonies you want to kick us off with real quick, and then
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then we'll show them the new funnel that we tested over the last 48 hours.
Yeah, I know Mitch has got, Mitch, go ahead. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, everybody. I did get a little flurry there. I can tell when you flip the switch on or off, for sure. I had reached out to a few, had a couple of bad phone numbers, had 3 bad phone numbers, a few no answers. And then one came through, and I just called this person like immediately. And I think that's the key, by the way, is just to call them while they're like right after they hit the button. And had a great conversation with this gal up in Ohio. And, her job is, on hold because of the whole pandemic thing. And she's excited. So I sent her, a video out of the app to watch, and told her that we would chat after she saw it. So I'm real excited about that. Just about when I gave up hope on that little batch there, I'm like, okay, one more, here we go, But did it, and it turned out to be a really good conversation. Hey, one thing I wanted to say, I think that, some people, that have gotten into co-op aren't necessarily accustomed to talking to people they don't know. And, honestly, I have fear too. I just force myself to do it. And then it actually, believe it or not, became fun. Talking to new people, if they hang up or whatever they do really doesn't matter. And first you drink a lot of caffeine, then you have fun. But it turned out to be a really, really good conversation. So I want to thank you guys for continually working on it. And I have a lot of confidence that the quality is going to go up, everything about it's going to get better. So thank you very much.
Good job, man. Keep it up, buddy.
Hey, Rick, I want to just comment real quickly on Mitch and what he's doing there, because, I've always been taught, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right? It doesn't matter who's on the end of that phone. They don't know you. They don't know, what you look like. They don't know, who you are. They don't know what level of success. You could be a high level professional or somebody, they don't know. And it's all going to be in the posturing that you take that will, ultimately, sometimes, and I struggle with confidence and insecurity and all that kind of stuff. And I find it easier to talk to people I don't know because they don't know.
Yeah. Hey, John,
right?
you know what I think it is a lot of times is people are worried that they're going to get a question like, how much money are you making? And, the funny thing about that is it really doesn't come up.
No.
It really doesn't come up. And I think people are just worried, oh, what am I going to say if, somebody was to ask me that question?
It all goes back to just developing that rapport with that person. You got to
Right.
get a little friendship going. You got to get tell me about yourself. Tell me about your family. Tell me, about your kids. Tell me what you do for a living. Tell me this, tell me that. And people just pour it on. I don't know what it is about Ohio, but I got a whole flurry, and they were all women, and they were almost all in various area codes of Ohio. So I don't know what you guys did, but Ohio is a hotbed of people. And so two of them reached out to me right away, and I've got three of them in the process, taking them through that sequential, right? That sequential process of sending them out the video from the app. Boom, they hit it. I'm notified immediately. I see that. Oh, and then two of them even called back right after hey, I just watched the video. That's pretty cool. So I go, okay. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? Yeah, I'd love to. And some of the things that I send out to them, if I hadn't heard from somebody, I just kind of, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself? Are you a 1, you're not interested at all, or are you a 10 and you're just too busy to get back to me? And I've gotten all kinds of responses. Hey, I'm a 9, but call me next week and blah blah blah. So it's just, it's just a process of, filling up that funnel, right? Just think of that thing, and you can't have 4 or 5 people in it. I was just looking at the power line, my power line, and it's 521 people deep, right? 521 people deep. So I'm now going to start working those people that fear a loss till Thursday, right? Because I'm saying, hey, what I did, and I'll send it to anybody that wants to see it. I copied it off and I sent it to a couple of people, and I said, hey, find your name on this list, watch this video, and I'll show you what'll happen. And so we'll see how that goes. So,
hey, John.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll even take it one step further because I've got some folks on my team that are actually in the co-op, and like you said, you got to have that language and posture to speak to those folks. And I told them, I said, listen, I'm willing to do this for you, and you listen to what I say. So what we're doing is when they get a hit, they immediately send out the text message, and then when it's time to call, I'm on the 3-way call with them, and I let them know, hey, this is my partner, so-and-so, and we're working together. And then I go into the whole dialogue, and they don't say anything. My partners, they just listen to how I do it, and we've been getting some good response that way. It's surprising that the 3-way call worked. But immediately, as soon as they said hello, I was already the first voice that they heard. And we've got someone that's probably going to be signing up real soon.
Nice. Any other testimonials, Chuck, that you want to bring on, or
anybody else out there that got a story that they want to share?
I want to talk. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Well, I got like 9 leads, and I do call them back immediately. I call them back. I don't text. I call them back immediately. So out of the 9, I think I made physical contact. Somebody, well, they didn't answer immediately, but they called me back because I leave a message. And she called me back pretty quickly from Alaska. But what I'm finding is the quality of the people, the leads. Both of the people that I reached, I took one guy through 3 steps. I had him on a call. I sent him an email. I sent him texts, the way I do my follow-up. So I even sent him product. The day he got the product, he said, you know, I made a decision. He's from Palm Springs. I made a decision, not at this time, you know, but I'll try the products, and, you know, and that's fine, you know, because I'm building a rapport. I'm building a relationship with this guy. He always answered the phone. The second lady from Alaska, she was ready to sign up right then and there. And, you know, I have no problem asking people for their credit card, asking them for the clothes, you know. And when it came to it, she gave me a credit card, and then she goes, I don't know if it's going to go through. You know, I say, are you in a position to start your own home-based business? It'll be $575. And she said, you know, yes. And again, I'm having people with money issues, you know, maybe I should bring them in at a lower level. I don't know. I'm just used to bringing in business builders, but, you know, I do call them back immediately. I mean, I had one come in at 11:30 at night from Alaska, one of the first ones I got. I'm like, well, this is kind of weird getting a lead at 11:30, but you know what? It's earlier in Alaska than it is in California, so I'm going to call it back. But so, you know, I'm not complaining about the number of leads and, you know, the bad numbers. Some numbers were like 310, 142, you know, just made up numbers, but that's a lead, you know. I understand the statistics and the odds, like maybe if you get 10 leads, if you get one and you bring one person in, that's good, you know. But the quality of people with money is what I'm running into.
Sounds good. Anyone else?
Don't think so.
All right, let's jump in, Chuck.
Go ahead, Rick.
All right, guys. Well, great feedback. I mean, this is good stuff. And, you know, Chuck, you've been sharing some stuff that, you know, you got 3 out of 4, but you guys remember this when we're working leads. It's just a numbers game. It's getting through those no's to get to that yes. And when you're talking about digital marketing, you're going to get more bad than good, you know. But again, I love what the last, I didn't get her name, but what she was talking about is that rapport, filling that funnel. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So if I could, I'm going to share my screen. Is that all right, Chuck?
Yep.
And John and I are going to you have to enable that for me, Chuck.
Can you do it, Chuck, as a co-host?
We'll get to it. But we're going to kind of go through some of the principles and some of the stuff John's putting together there in that PDF. You know, we're going to get that out to you guys, but a lot of that stuff.
I may have to make you a host because I think I may have, because of what happened, you know, a few weeks ago when I was on here, I disabled someone else's ability to share screen. So I'm going to make you the host, Chuck, or Rick, and then you might be able to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. Now
Okay.
you should be able.
There we go. All right. All right, good. So I'm going to run you guys through some stuff that John and I have been working on, Chuck, a lot of input from you guys. But, you know, just first we're going to talk briefly about, you know, why digital marketing, why are we going to use the Vail system, and why we want to build this building approach. I mean, John did an amazing job in this book outlining that, hey, it is a new world. You know, I mean, we talk about people with money issues. We're going to run into that a lot. You know, those are the people that can't afford not to do it with us. And maybe there is times where we got to bring people in at a lower level and do different things and get creative with them. But it is a new world in network marketing. It's not the same way that we started, huh, Chuck and John, 30 some years ago, where you could just build it through, you know, back then it was paper and pen. Now it's your phone, right? But it was literally only a warm market business. And it's not like that anymore. It's a different animal. And we're not going to get into that, but I think we all understand that and realize that. So we'll talk a little about through those 3 things. So I love to talk about this. It really crosses what I call the success bridge, networker success bridge. You know, there's 2 elements or 2 pillars, right, in this business, and it's the warm market and it's the cold market. And we feel like this a long time. So the people that make money in this business are the people that figure this out. And I say back and forth because you really are trying to pull people from the cold market into your warm market. Whoever said that earlier about building rapport, and Chuck talked about filling up the funnel. Mitch talked about it too. You know, it's really about filling up that funnel and building those relationships. It's always going to be the warm market is going to be the magic, right? Now, how do you go fishing? Where do you get people, qualified people you're going to talk about? And that's where digital marketing comes in. I think it's very different. And we do that through funnels. This is what you want your funnel to look like. You know, the moment that you run out of a share, you got to jump back in the co-op. You know, if you're on this call and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to buy a share and I'm going to get lucky and hit the next home run, it's not probably the right building strategy for you, really. I mean, it's got to be a consistent building method. And that's kind of what we're after as far as that consistency. I can't remember who mentioned that, but you know, how do we get there? Most of all, can you imagine this picture, this image in your downline, right? With 50 people or 100 people or even 10 people. When people are having this many conversations, this many texts, this many emails going out all the time, it can get really magical very, very quickly. And so that's what our goal is. And the way to do that is a systematic building approach. And that's what the Valtribe system is. That's what we've built here, is a systematic building approach. We always talk about McDonald's, right? McDonald's is, you know, are they selling the best products in the world? Not a chance, right? Do they have the best, you know, user experience in the world? Not a chance. Now, I think here at Valentis, you guys have some of the best products in the world. You have some of the best tools in the world. That's one of the reasons I hitched my wagon and what we're doing to you guys, because I just really believe in what you're doing. You know, so it's not comparable apples to apples that way. But the reason the McDonald's is so successful is their systematic building approach, right? You can predict the outcome. It's based on numbers. It's based on statistics. It's based on conversations. And you really can reverse engineer it. As Jeff does his work, that's, you know, I love the confidence he had this week. You know, we haven't heard from him in 2 weeks, but, you know, he's talking about, hey, listen, we got that dial. We've been talking a lot about that dial. We can turn it up now, right? We're at that place where we can turn it up. And we're only, I think he said 1% into our list and that we've built over the years. So we've got a long way to go. And that's exciting because we're getting 100 to 150 leads a day. That means 150 people are pre-enrolling a day. Our goal and our target is closing 10%. We're going to get to that point. You know, so if you get a share, we're going to over-deliver. We're going to give you guys extra leads because we don't do substitutes. We don't have the bandwidth to do that. We're not interested in that. So we're going to get over-deliver on your share. You guys will get that in your text as you get leads. It'll say bonus lead, bonus lead, bonus lead. And if we do really well that month, we'll leave more bonus leads, okay? So you guys will look for those. But once your share is over, you got to get back in the co-op to continue to fill that funnel. Because if you want that image there, right there that we're looking at with that funnel full, people coming in all the time, and if you want to duplicate that, it has to be a systematic approach. And that's what the digital marketing in Valtribe does, okay? So, John, I really want to talk to you here, but you know, this is a training that all of us have done for years and years. We have to focus on the right activity, right? The right activity within this system to do it. Now, we're not asking you to go out there and build a franchise, right? We're not asking you to go out there and build a McDonald's franchise. We're asking you to buy into one, right? Buy into one that's already done for you. Now, yes, we're growing it, we're evolving it, and that's what it takes in digital marketing. It's not something you just snap your fingers and create. That's why we added the warm market funnels. That's why we added all these different things for you. But 90% of all we do, we need to be focused on money-making activity within the system. John, you like to say pay time versus no pay time. And I want to just throw it over to John. John, what is that activity that you see at this point, you know, to create this image right here of this funnel? What is that pay time activity?
Well, I mean, essentially, that paid time activity is when you're talking to somebody, right, that's not in our business, or you're communicating with somebody that's not in our business or not using our products. I mean, the reality of it is the only thing that's going to grow any one of our prospective businesses, it's new people. Okay. And of course, this is where so many people are stuck because they don't feel like they have new people. Mm-hmm. And what the co-op is going to do, what the funnel is going to do, it's going to give you an endless supply of people to talk to. And in the process, you know, yes, as you do it, and as you go through, you know, one set of leads, two set of leads, your skills are going to get better. And I think, Rick, what you said earlier, it's in the consistency. I mean, if you're going to, it's a combination. I brought a person in 10 days ago that I've been working on for 4 years. Okay, I've been working on this person for 4 years in the timing. I don't push people. I continue. And I was on the phone today with somebody with Chuck, and I believe the person's on the Zoom here too. But I mean, literally, he just said, you know, Chuck is relentless. He's a prospecting, you know, master, and he just keeps following up, keeps touching base. And as you make a connection in this, just as Abby had said, the person says, you know, I'm not ready right now, right? Well, I mean, she's got the skill down, she's got the system down, she's got the activity down. She's going to continue. I promise you, Abby's going to continue to follow up with that person and build that rapport. And I bet she gets that person in. right? Eventually, you know, I mean, some of the best people I've ever brought into this business didn't sign up the day I talked to them. I mean, it in many cases took, you know, months and months and sometimes even years to bring them in. So I think having patience, maintaining that consistency, and, you know, focus your time on those pay time, those money-making activities, which is talking to people. And that's all we're doing here is we're giving you another way to talk to people, right? And of course, the next part of the other money-making activity is the follow-up, which means you're talking to people, right? But it's communicating, it's moving the ball forward, it's building belief in getting that person across the finish line to get them started. So
good stuff, John. And so, you know, what our goal of this whole system is to bring prospects into your warm market. Remember how we said back and forth across that success bridge? Your cold market is the fuel. And I'm surprised we didn't get stories, because I know I've heard some from Chuck, but you know, how many people have signed up just of the energy of the co-op and what we're doing and understanding what digital marketing and the space and the new world we live in, as John's book, you know, eloquently puts. It's going to bring people in because they're going to see something new. So it's bringing people, you know, the energy of it's going to bring people over into your warm market by having that conversation that John's talking about, building that rapport that Chuck mentioned. And so that's where our ultimate goal of this whole process is start to have some conversations. And yes, it can be a little bit uncomfortable at times, but we've made it simple enough by using text and so forth and some of the steps we're going to go through that anybody can do this. And as John said, your skills will get better and better and better as you go, okay? And ultimately, the results of the entire co-op will get better because the quality's going up, the follow-up, the automation that we're working on right now is going up, and your skills are getting better and better. Okay. So what do we do? Now we're going to go to, you know, some of the nuts and bolts, right? What do we do? Or, you know, we had some great, I think Mark mentioned some things, picking up the phone right away. Now, if you're a seasoned networker, that is the way to do it. Pick up the phone, because ultimately that's the goal of this process, is to have a conversation, right? And focus on those money-making activities. Now, for me, I've always taught a money-making activity is simply sponsoring, right? How do you sponsor? So give me a system where I can sponsor, okay? And that's the money-making activity I'm gonna focus on. But you break that down, and there's some elements within those money activities. One of them is inviting, right? Learn how to teach people how to invite, okay? Teach people how to invite to tools, teach people how to invite to events. I was a missionary in Mexico. It was the first time I really hit my first home run in network marketing. And, you know, Chuck actually got me into this deal 30 years ago or 25 years ago, whatever. But I was using digital marketing back when digital marketing looked very, very differently. But I had one thing I could do every year was invite to a big event. And I was number one at all the events. I had more people at the events than anybody else. And I was a missionary in Mexico working on a very, very part-time. But I learned, my sponsor taught me years and years ago, back in the old water filter days, that your money-making activity is inviting. And it's something that's the easiest money-making activity I think that anybody can do, and it takes the fear out of it. So I'm going to leave you that. We won't get into that too much, but just think about those money-making activities that John's talking about. So Two-Prong Approach. What do? We have a brand new pre-enrollee. We know there's a tremendous fear of loss system going on. So remember, as you're filling up this funnel, Chuck said he has 500 and some people, and I'm not sure when it cycles out. It might cycle out every few months or whatever, but when it cycles out, but at the end of the day, those people are getting texts. Am I correct in that? Shake your head if I'm right in that. They're getting texts that their team is building, et cetera, et cetera. The residual effect as you fill a funnel and continue to bring and go back and forth across that bridge, right? That success bridge, your warm market's getting excited because of what's going on in the funnel, and your cold market's getting excited because of what's going on in the power line. It starts to really build results, okay? So prong number one, I call this the two-prong approach, and this is the minimum. If you're not willing to do this, it's not the right program for you. Really, I say that to people. This is not going to work for everybody. It's not going to be the right approach for everybody. It's not all going to be automated. We're working on a lot of automation to make it even better, and the tools and so forth. And you guys' app is phenomenal, I guess. So prong number one is shoot them an immediate text. It takes 2 seconds to do this. I mean, you can do this at work. You can, obviously if you can't, you do it the next hour. You don't do it when you're driving, et cetera, et cetera. But here's a great first text that we've proven used in the past. It says, hey, John, Rick here. I even made Mitch. Now, you can pick up my PowerPoint later because I was really changing this thing in the last minute. Okay, I need your help here. But in the text, I was actually trained to misspell in text, okay, when you're prospecting, so it doesn't look like a bot. And now, this was a long time ago when I got this training. There's more bots out there now than you can shake a stick at, and I hate bots. I hate when people are texting me or these automated stuff. I can't stand it. So, I don't always make it perfect. I don't have to be perfect. So, hey, John, Rick here. You requested info about making money from home. I'm following up this promise. I want to confirm because we're about to start building your team right now in real time. Please call me back to set up the time to get all your questions answered. Thanks. Now, think about the end of that text. Please call me back to set up a time to get all your questions answered. That means my ultimate goal is what? Is to build rapport, to get on the phone with them eventually, right? In this process. Now, the seasoned vets that are on here that said I pick up the phone, you guys are doing it the right way. Pick it up right away. Right when they hit click, you're picking up the phone, you're on it. I guarantee you'll get the best results that way. And they're not going to get everybody to do that. And not everybody has the time to do that. So texting is the best way. It's proven that texts are answered, phone calls are not, even messages aren't. Okay? But it says, please call me back to set up a time to get all your questions answered. Now, when they call you back, they might have questions, right? They might want to get answers. Now, what if I just signed up the business a month ago? Because ultimately we're into duplication, right? We're going down this road to get we're going a lot of those funnels in our team. So the going back to that money-making activity of inviting, your goal is going to be to invite them. It's going to be invite them to a three-way call to get Mark on the call. It's going to be invite them to one of John's presentations. It's going to be invite them to this meeting here. It's going to be invite them somewhere. So we're going to learn the art of inviting somewhere. We're not going to answer their questions. One of the best trainings I ever heard, back in the old days too, was stay new in the business. Never have the answer. And that is hard to do sometimes, right? Because the rule of duplication is people do what you do. If John Remenza sponsors me and he's got every single answer, I'm in the back of my head thinking, man, I got to do this. I got to be this guy. There's no way. There's no way. And I've seen it time and time again. When you stay new in the business and don't have the answer, and listen, John might even say, and I've done this, I've pinged this to my downline many, many times. John, may have a compensation plan. Hey, that's a great question, Lori. But, I'm probably not the best answer. Let me put Mitch on the phone because he's one of our compensation plan experts. And Mitch gets on the phone and he becomes the expert. Stay new in the business. And that's why we say set up a time to get your questions answered. That time might be that three-way call. That time might be the presentation. But it's not going to be on that phone call. Don't start taking questions. You got to posture up. You got to be in a hurry. You have thousands of people joining your co-op. You're part of this co-op. You have thousands of people joining every week, and we just started. There's going to be 5,000 in a couple of weeks. So you got a lot. You don't have a lot of time on here. So you posture up. I don't have a lot of time. I can't answer your question. That's a great question. I'm going to get back to you, but we're going to again, our ultimate goal is a phone call. Okay, does that make sense? So take a picture of that. You guys can use that. I'm sure this is going to be recorded, but there might, you can tweak on this. It's just an idea, but there's some art in this text, and you can cut and paste this. And if you'll do it immediately, that's prong number one. Okay.
Hey, Rick, can I comment on that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, number one, this term "stay new in the business," I can't believe that's the first time I think I've ever heard that, and I really like it. I'm definitely going to be using that again. But the concept behind it, I absolutely, the definition of the way you use that. I mean, I talk to people all the time, and I'll laugh about it. Even knowing they know how much money I've made, I tell them, I say, you'd be surprised how little I know. I mean, I know nothing about the products. I used to back in the old days, used to know I couldn't tell you what's in any of them, other than I know there's coffee in there and there's some other stuff. But I literally, folks, you don't need to know all this stuff. And again, using exactly what Rick said, the other thing that I do, and what I tell people is I always want to leave people wanting more, right? I mean, this creating this sense of urgency and this fear of loss. I mean, literally, and for those of you that are on the phone, you can sense this. As soon as I say hello, I'm trying to get off the phone, right? I mean, I've come across, which I am busy, but I mean, I literally don't have time for chit chat. I mean, I'll build that rapport. Like when I do a three-way phone call, I ask them, tell me, and I'm very patient. But in that cold market prospecting or whatever, even when I'm dealing with it in distributors, I mean, I'm trying to get off that phone, leaving people wanting more, right?
That's great, John. Good stuff. Stay new in the business. I love it. So the second step, the second prong is let them hear your voice, okay? Ultimately, what's the goal? To get on the phone. Again, we have to have conversations with people. If there was an automated way to do this, there's an automated way to fill a funnel. And then we're going to figure that out. We're going to dial that in with Valentis and the tribe, what we're doing in the marketing and so forth. We're going to dial that in for you guys. It'll get more automated all the time, okay? But at the end of the day, very few people, we're not going to have explosive growth without conversations. The magic is always where? And which pillar? The warm market. We're bringing people from the cold market into our warm market. We're putting them in our phone. We're building relationships. It's still relationship marketing. We're just taking a different angle at it. So let them hear your voice. Now, 80% of the time, unless you call them right away, like we heard in the testimony, they're not going to answer you anyway. They don't know your number. I don't answer anybody. They don't know their number. I just can't do it. I don't have the time, right, John? So you don't take phone calls like that. So you're leaving them a message. So you want them to hear your voice. It's kind of the first step of rapport. You're a real person. You got a real story. Okay, so this is what I do. And smile, right? There is an art to smiling, especially when you first say your name and you call out their name. Smile. Try it. It's fun. You can do it. Put a big smile on your face. Hey, John, this is Rick calling you from Palm City, Florida. Now let's do it another way. Hey, this is Rick calling you from Palm City, Florida. Can you hear the difference? Big difference. So let them hear your voice. Smile. Put a smile. Hey, John, this is Rick calling from Palm City, Florida. Make it feel goofy. Have fun with it. You pre-enrolled and have an interest in learning more about our home-based income system. Keep your phone close because we already started. I saw a typo, Mitch, to build your team, and we will automatically be notifying you via text as members are joining your team, our team. I just want to follow up. Oop, lost it there. I just wanted to follow up and help you get all the information you need to answer any questions. Could you please return my call? Leave your phone number here. I'm looking forward to speaking with you for a few minutes as soon as possible. By the way, if I happen to be busy, again, we're busy, right? On another call, please leave your number. And once again, this is Rick. My phone number is blah, blah, blah. Have a great day, John. Smile again, right? That's a great message. Keep it simple, keep it fun, keep it light, but let them hear your voice, okay? Now, if they pick up the phone, you just circumvented the whole prong number 3, right? You don't even have to have that last call because you're going to have it right there. That's ultimately what your goal is. And if you have the guts to just take the phone and pick it up right when they're in the process and have the time to do it, that's the best way to do it for sure, okay? So that's prong number 2. And prong number 3, this is if you really want to be successful. Follow up with an email because now you understand the power of building a list. We've talked about this before, but your list is everything. John, I love this story. You said, how long? You said, what, 4 years you've been talking to this gentleman? You just finally signed up? I mean, that's the power of a list right there. So build those relationships, communicate with email, okay? And this is it. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically it just says the same thing, right? I've tried to reach out to you. And basically fear of loss is all through this thing. We have other people that want that position, which is true in your power line, right? And so if you're not interested, let us know. Call me back. I'll take you off the list, blah, 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 blah. But now you're hitting them. They say in marketing, you got to hit people 13 times now or more, right? So you got to hit people. You got to touch people. Ultimately, what our goal is to have that conversation, bring them into your warm market. Now we're bringing them back and forth. Remember that bridge, that success bridge? That's where all the money is, guys, is going back and forth across that bridge, going into the cold market and bringing new people, going to the cold market, bringing new people, and keeping it very, very, very systematic, okay? And ultimately, we want to invite them to, the tools in the app. Again, going back to staying new in the business, we don't want to be the experts. I used to, say this. Somebody asked me about the product, in one of my companies. I said, listen, I don't know. I take it. My friends take it. Everybody loves it.
That's a different day on the
Nope. Product questions. I'll never answer a product question, ever. I never have. I never will. I'll always point them to an expert, again, because you're building the power of the network. You're telling them when you stay new in the business that you don't have to have the answer. You're saying to them, you can do this. You can do this without being an expert. And that's exactly what we want to communicate. So I put these 2 meetings in here. I know that John has this in his training too, which I love, and I'm going to have some comment, but use either or questions. John, is Tuesday, this is the kind of wrapping up my call. I finally got into the goal. I'm having a conversation. I've built a little bit of rapport. I've diverted some questions. Okay, but he has questions. I'm not going to be that expert. John, is Tuesday evening or Thursday evening work better for you? You're my special guest on the Zoom call as we get all your questions answered and you can meet my team. Meet the team, okay? Or John, after this conversation, please say your interest lies more in learning about our compensation model for you or the product information. Okay, never open-ended questions. So, I don't know, John, you want to comment on that too? You got to unmute.
Yeah, you might need to mute everybody. There's someone on here talking. I'm hearing some background noise. I don't know if anybody else is or not.
I have control now, huh?
I think to that end, guys, I think, the number one thing we always need to remember is everything that we do sets that example, of what others, think they have to do. And so we always need to be keeping conscious of that. asking ourselves, is what we're doing duplicatable? Is what we're doing something somebody else can do? And when you come across with too much knowledge, then people think, wow, I mean, you might mesmerize them and impress them, but they're going to wake up the next morning and say, I can't do that. So the other thing that's critical important, I believe, is you got to make sure you keep, I mean, if you're not plugged in, if you don't get your team plugged in, they're simply not going to make it. They're not, I mean, I have to be plugged in. I even shared, hey, I was kind of, somewhat disconnected this past week, and it affected me, right? I mean, I need to be in the hunt. I need to be plugged in. It's so crucial. If you want to succeed in this business, you need to be on the calls. You need to be on the Zooms. You need to be plugged in. You want to work this, I'm sitting here listening to this, getting myself fired up. I'm learning. I'm hearing things a different way. I'm excited. So, Rick, I'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, great stuff. So, guys, listen, we're not going to break this down. We spent a lot of time in the fall, and I still want to show you the new funnel and give you a little bit more on that. And there's a lot more training and a lot more. This is a funnel we've used in the past, some videos we've used in the past, and I want to show you that. So, but these are the two websites that obviously we need to know. How do you get your ValtribeSystem.com? We've changed that website to Valtribe System. The old one will still work for a while, but people that want their warm market funnel, they need to go there. And then tribefunnels.com. You'll get a text out of our system that says, hey, your share is now complete, right? And it's time to go back, keep the momentum going. So this is not a system. If you're in, don't bring people in that want to spend $100 and try to build a business that way. It's not the way it's going to work. It'll never work that way. So really, you want to continue to fill the funnel, fill the funnel, fill the funnel. 3 months from now, we'll be having this conversation. There'll be stories upon stories upon stories about people coming in, just like John talked about, just like somebody else talked about earlier, that you've been prospecting, building rapport with for maybe months, maybe years, and all of a sudden they're ready to go. And again, back and forth across that success bridge, pull the warm market, get the warm market excited about the new digital co-op system, and also pull the cold market into your warm market, because that's where you build that relationship. Does that make sense, guys? All right, good deal. Let me go ahead and share this with you real quick. I won't take too much more time. I know we're a little over here. Okay, so this is the new looking funnel. We've tested this. I think thank you for the team that stepped up. We turned it on for you guys. So you guys probably got a lot of leads. I know Chuck had, all of a sudden I said, Chuck, I'm going to turn it up for you, Chuck. And I've been talking about that dial, right? And Chuck, he texted me, he said enough. And I said, if I got Chuck to say enough, in about a span of an hour, but he had 3 or 4 great conversations, I think, with just, 8 or 9 leads that came in. Now that's not always going to happen, but that will happen, and again, our goal is, there's no doubt in my mind, when you buy a share and you get 13 leads or so, you're going to close one of those leads if you funnel and properly follow up over them. Maybe not day one, but as the time goes over, you will do that. And that is in your compensation plans, which is one of the richest and most generous I've seen in the industry, and I've been around for a little bit. That's your ROI. You're already out of the red just with one sign up, which is crazy, right? Just for that share. So that's the way you got to be thinking about building your business, systematically, not spaghetti marketing. Network marketing, we throw stuff on the wall and we have conversations and we come in and we come out and we do this. That doesn't work. If you want to build a real income, then that's not the way. You have to be systematic about it. And that's why I brought up the McDonald's thing. So this is the new page. Can you guys all see that?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play this video. I'm not sure if it's going to go with the bandwidth or not, but I want you guys to get a sense of it, because this is not, there's some licensing agreements on this. And so we can't just go ahead and put this into a funnel like we did last time. We will get a demo one up, hopefully in the next day or so. But our intuition was correct. Our conversions were much higher on this, on both sides of the fence, on the marketing side, the advertising side, and already from the initial feedback just from the team. So again, hats off to the 15 people that stepped up and said, hey, listen, let's go for this. So you guys got a lot of leads. We inundated you. Hopefully we'll get some more stories next week. But I want to play this video for you. Let me just scroll to the page here. Down here, talks about a 3-step process. And one of the things that we're going to do to start cultivating leads now is we're going to continue. I talked about this before, but Tony Robbins things, right? Create value, right? Add value, create raving fans. They're your fans, right? That's what we do when we build, long-term rapport with people. And so we have a 3-step process, and we're going to give John's ebook as a bonus, right? $27 value when they register to build a team. See, it's all about building a team. It's more about building. It's a 1-step process, right? We're asking all their information up front, which is very hard to get a lot of time. Your page has to be very, very good. Now, we've added a few things in there that Mitch suggested as far as validating information as well. But it's a 3-step process, and it goes through that in the video. Protect yourself and your family. The world has changed forever. We don't get into COVID and all that, but the reality is it is, right? It's changed forever. So let's show, they've shown that first step by registering today. Number 2 is they're going to connect with the Power Team. I use Power Team. I don't like Power Line that much, so I use Power Team, but that's the next thing they're going to see. It's going to blow their mind, right? And it's a digital marketing funnel system. And number 3 is time to learn and grow. And that, that's where, they've connected with you, and now they're on that call, they're on that 3-way, they're seeing those tools, and that's where we're closing. Okay. So, but along the way, we're going to be sending out training to them just to add value. Okay. We're going to do that through our system. You guys won't even need to do. We'll show you once we get the stuff done. We're working on it now. First couple of videos are being worked on now. Once those things are done, and it's very generic, basic training, but it's good stuff. Right. And we'll add some more books and more different things in it as well. Okay. We need more testimonials down here. And so I'm going to play. It's about 3 minutes. So if it's not going well, John, put your finger down and I'll turn it off.
Welcome to part 1, how to financially protect yourself and your family without wasting the best time in recorded history to start a home-based business. There's an old but true proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The world has changed, and very suddenly too. So how do you go about creating a plan to financially protect yourself and your family? Before exploring the possible solutions, you must first have the right mindset. You've got to think in terms of solutions rather than focusing on the immediate problems. The most obvious solution is to create an income-generating activity where you are in control of what you earn. While there are many possible choices, most so-called experts are giving conflicting opinions and confusing advice. How in the world do you narrow down the vast number of choices to something that makes sense to you? In order to successfully protect yourself and your family financially, here is the list of criteria you should consider before making any decisions. The first thing you need is an income-generating activity that has a low risk. You need a business that costs very little to get started. You don't want a traditional business where you will incur debts like mortgages, business loans, or yearly leases. You don't want a business that costs a lot to maintain either. It must have a very low overhead. An important consideration is that this new business must be something that can be conducted anywhere. In recent times, we've seen people's ability to go to their office or place of business severely restricted. So you need something where you are not confined to doing business in a particular location. The best way to accomplish this is with something where you can carry out your tasks by using your computer, iPad, or with a mobile phone. Of course, you need something that can generate profits quickly. You don't have time to wait months or years before you begin making money. It needs to be much faster than that. Another important point is that your new business must be something simple enough that you can learn it quickly. You don't want anything complicated or where you need a lot of specialized knowledge to succeed. And of course, you want something that is moral, ethical, and beneficial to others. One more thing, and this is the icing on the cake. You must have a business where there is a constant, never-ending demand for what you offer. Wow, that is certainly a long wish list. Is there anything that can fit these demanding requirements? Yes, there is. In fact, we will reveal to you all the details about an astonishingly powerful business model that is now delivering tremendous financial benefit to people just like you all over the globe. Take a moment and fill out our form and you will be directed to part number 2, at which time you can find out what this is all about in our explosive new multimedia report, How to Financially Protect Yourself and Your Family. You will see a 23-minute video and also receive an easy-to-read report that gives you a full explanation. The report and video will answer your questions. If you are like the many others who have been helped, you will discover a clear way to successfully eliminate your financial worries. For the present time, this eye-opening report is yours free. But hurry, we reserve the right to end this special giveaway without prior notice.
Okay, very, very generic, very current with the times. And, again, it follows these 3 steps down here. This report that we're talking about will be done probably tomorrow. And they'll also get that as well. And they're also going to get John's book as well. Okay. So I'm going to go through this real quick. We'll see if somebody's paying attention because somebody's going to get a lead right now, and I'll pull it out and replace it. But let's just see if my phone rings. Now look, Mitch. Look at Mitch. So we got never bounce now. So they have to enter a good email. If they don't do that, then it won't work. Okay. Now they have to write the right format. They can't ping we can't ping the phone number. We can keep it in the right format. Okay. So after they hit register, this is what's going to happen. Again, we're going to get a demo for you. Thank you for taking the application. We received it, blah, blah, blah. Click here for details. Okay. And then they're going into the power line video. Okay. All right. So very similar to what we were doing before. We just kind of spiced it up a little bit, changed this landing page, tested this landing page. It's pulling phenomenal. And I think because of the follow-up, that 23-page report, we're adding more value now. And the system will automatically do that for you. Chuck, you talked about a lot of, keeping them in your pipeline, right? Keeping in the funnel. I think, John, you told me today that they stay in there for you say 3 months or longer?
I think it's 6 months.
Is it 6
They
months?
stay in the company pre-enrollment system, unless they opt out.
Okay. So we'll keep contacting them for 6 months, right? So we'll set the last thing that we do up for you guys in your pipeline. Again, have that image of that funnel in there. The last thing we'll be getting about 5 months. We'll be dripping on them all the way through, adding value, training, videos, etc., reports. We'll ask you guys to do some stuff, and we'll continue to build that pipeline because we're gonna fortify that pipeline. Because realize that timing is everything. It's all about their timing, and it's not about our timing. So that's the new system. That's the new funnel. The data has proven it to us that we're going to flip the switch over to this tomorrow for everybody, not just the 15. The results have been better for you guys. You guys gave me that feedback for sure. And we've gotten better results and better response on the marketing side as well. Okay. So any questions or thoughts? Or John, you want to comment on it?
No, I'm excited. That first video you just shared, had me engaged. I was listening.
Yeah. It's very current. It's very articulate. It's done very, very well. Now, unfortunately, we can't do a warm market funnel with this. So we're going to continue those same warm market funnels we have. But again, the process is the exact same, guys. We're giving away value. Okay, we're pre-enrolling them. I think on our funnel, we're going to get more into the pre-enrollment even more because one of the big things I've heard is that people just don't know what they're doing, right? And that's why that immediate connection is so important. That's why getting to them very quickly is important because if you don't, they're gone. If you think that you think you're going to contact them 3 days from now and they're going to be interested, you might as well go buy a list somewhere. You know what I mean? It's a better spend on your money. So you need to engage them right away. And again, selling that pre-enrollment, selling that we're going to build you a downline. Now I'm assuming those texts are going out from Valentis. And can we confirm that, John? Do we know 100%?
I can confirm that.
Yeah, confirm that because I haven't heard a lot about it. And I think that's one of the most powerful features is that we're selling that fact that you're going to get text through all these videos and these messages. So we want to make sure that that's happening because that's going to, again, fill that pipeline. And as they see that grow and they keep getting their interest peak, it's going to be peaked and peaked and peaked. And that's how we're touching them 13 times, 15 times by the text, the emails, the phone calls, the voice messages. Now the texts are hitting them again. And now we've touched them that many times and we're ready to close them. So John, Chuck, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Great job. I appreciate it. We'll continue to work behind the scenes and, we'll just continue to kick some butt. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, guys,
Chuck,
don't forget, Thursday night, 8 p.m. East Coast time, our first Zoom. So there's 2 Zooms on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, then 10 p.m. Eastern. The 10 p.m. Eastern Zoom is on John's Bridge, on John's Zoom, this 701 number. The 8 p.m. is on the success team on Mitch's Bridge, which is 570-415-070. And Mitch, if you go ahead and put that in there's no chat. But I'll make sure that John Krim gets a text message or an email out to everybody. So you've got those 2 Zooms to bring prospects to. So other than that, great. I love the funnel. So, John, great, good to have you back again, buddy, and get plugged back in again.
Sounds great, guys.
Great, guys.
Okay. See ya. Good night, everybody.
Rick, you've got the control, so you can end it for all.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, John. Good night, guys.